You're watching HDNet, your home for the NHL every Thursday and Saturday night.
Welcome back to the Verizon Center. The Capitals here in their home building, 11-11-3, 20-22-7 overall. Carolina, 26-19-6 overall. They are 5-1-2 in their last 8. And in the season series, it's the Hurricanes that have a slight edge, winning 3 of the 5 meetings.
Well, Washington basically gets their butt kicked last night in Carolina. An opportunity today to redeem themselves. This morning, big team meeting. There wasn't too many smiling faces coming out of that one. They're definitely determined to equal the score this evening.
Well, Glenn Hanlon in particular, we tried to talk to him this morning, but he was not in the mood to talk. And this is a critical time for his team. And it's interesting because this is now about that point where teams are going to start to think about trades, Murph, with the trade deadline almost exactly a month away. Starting tonight for the Carolina Hurricanes. Last year, he was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Cam Ward, Murph, 21-12-5.
He says himself he can play better. His expectations have grown since that Conn Smythe win, the Stanley Cup, of course, and there is a little bit of room improvement for Cam Ward.
At the other end, the veteran Ole Kolzig will get the nod. Only Marty Brodeur since 97-98 has appeared in more NHL games.
Well, a combination of size and positioning. There's not much net to shoot at when Ole's in there.
The referees tonight, Justin St. Pierre and Greg Kimmerly. The linesmen, Derek Amell and Mark Schuchuk. Both teams getting set for the draw. The Caps win it, and we are underway. Seidenberg pounded against the end boards. Sotheby digging away. David Tanabe up the right side. At the red line, he'll blast it in. Back in his own end, it's Williams. He'll pivot. Tosses it up the right side. Eminger gets the puck ahead of Ray Whitney. Ovechkin, he had a goal last night. High slot, Williams with a steal. Far circle, backhand, knocked down out in front. Zubras. Met along the near side by Commodore. Still able to kick it deep. Eric Belanger. Look out, the ref goes down along the far side. And we've got to stop and play as Ward will cover up, and the referee looks like he's shaking up Greg Kimmerly.
Well, he hasn't gotten up yet. There he goes. the Stanley Cup champions. And Peter Laviolette very pleased last night, of course, with their victory. And tonight, a big concern for him, of course, is on back-to-back games when you have a one-sided win. How motivated are going to be the next night? You know he's going to be up against the Washington Capitals. They're in a desperate situation. They've got to do something now to get themselves back in the playoff hunt, or they're going to be sellers at the trade deadline.
Eric Cole flings it in. Carolina's going to have to tag up. Back to get it is Jamie Heward. Feeds it deep. Glenn Wesley, 38 years old. That's almost Murph old.
Well, he's still going strong. And Brandon Moore's 36 on the team. And Glenn Hanlon touched on it this morning, Judd. Very concerned with his team's play. And they're 5 points out of the playoff spot. And they've got to make a move right now. They're sitting 13th in the conference. These are games they have to win. This game is as close to a must-win game as you can get for this franchise. They've got to start making a move now. Get themselves back in the picture.
The hard part is, Murph, that there are so many teams that are in front of them. They're only 5 points out, but they're 13th.
Exactly. They've got to start moving now, or 2 weeks from now, their season will be shot.
Ladd sends it around to the far side. Flick back to Ladd. Ladd promoted recently. He's a first-round pick of the Hurricanes who has played mostly third line this year and has not produced. Even he admits that he hasn't played to his potential. Babchuk tried to slap it down the wall. It's stolen 3-on-2 the other way, but the Caps want to change. Looked like was tired, and now Carolina gets it in transition, and it's off the surface.
Oh, nice play by Tim Gleason standing up at the blue line. One of the 9 defense Carolina will have when everyone is healthy, and touched on trades. Stand up, great play, catches it with his foot. That's transition right there. Catch Washington is changing at that motion at that point in time. He was unable to make a strong pass.
Gleason just back into the lineup after missing 13 games with a bad foot. Gleason acquired right at the start of the season from the LA Kings. Coming over with Eric Belanger, Oleg Tverdovsky heading the other way. Here's David Tanabe in his second stint with the Kings. Guides it along the far side, trying to do it himself, and he's going to run into some trouble. Stolen, but we have a hand pass.
Well, that's frowned upon in the opposition zone, as we all know.
Would you like to see that rule change, Murph?
Well, there's talk of it actually right now,
Really?
changing it, try to create more offense, allowing hand passes throughout the ice surface. I think it would be interesting. It'd sure make it crazy in front of the net, and that puck's up in the air. Guys will be swatting at it. They're looking for more offense. I think that's one way to do it. The league, that is, looking for more offense.
Only one shot on goal registered thus far, and it belongs to the Caps. Here's Eric Cole. Right circle fire by Belanger. Kolzig the save. Rebound. Trickles just wide. Commodore had moved up. This puck will scoop into the far corner, but not fast enough on this ice to get an icing call. There was a basketball game here earlier, and they had to do a quick changeover, and now we've got a penalty.
Well, Carolina on Kolzig. See how he's out at the top of the paint. He's such a big man. It catches his shoulder initially. That's how he makes the initial save. And down at the other end, Eric Fuhr just gets called up today. Obviously, somebody needs to talk to him about the rules of the National Hockey League. You cannot take your arm off your stick, put it on the opposing player. And Washington penalty problem last night. They don't need to start that trend right now.
So Carolina, the game's first power play. Overall, Carolina's power play 23rd in the league at just under 16%. Ray Whitney wheels in, dishes to the near side Williams. He'll push it around. Far point Brindamore. Quickly to Seidenberg, near point. This is acquired from the Phoenix Coyotes in exchange for Kevin Adams, and this one is whistled out of there.
Well, good pressure. Washington rotating the box, jumping on loose pucks.
Sent out in front. Tapped just wide by Whitney, who snuck in behind the defense. Pettinger guides it through the middle. Sotheby apparently onside, just deflected wide by Pettinger on a shorthanded chance. Williams settles it down. Corey Stillman with it. Stillman missed the bulk of the season after having off-season shoulder surgery. He's won each of the last 2 Stanley Cups, winning last year with Carolina and the season before with the Tampa Bay Lightning. 40 seconds remaining in the minor affair. Stahl digging down low. Tanabe wings it across. Comes back to Stahl, or pardon me, Tanabe, and it lines up in the neutral zone. Stahl with it. Up the middle, here's Cole. Cole, right circle, fires wide. Stahl chiseled it back of the net. Scott Walker with a couple of helpers last night and a fight. Couldn't control it, and it rolls back into the Hurricanes' end. We've played 5 minutes. Each team with a shot on net. We're scoreless. Tanabe lifts it in. Washington back at full strength. Pulled out of there by Ladd. Ladd digging away along the far side. Carolina getting to the pucks quickly. Look out. That could have easily been a penalty right there as Adams was grabbed from behind. LaRose chipped it back of the net. Big collision with Morrison. Centered, rejected, and the Caps will break the other way. Cam Ward, look out, that puck hit the linesman's skate as he tried to send it over to Commodore. Ovechkin with a hit in the far corner. Washington rattling the boards here early. Heward escapes a couple of stick checks from Justin Williams. And this one is flipped over the glass into the crowd.
Well, Peter Laviolette is one of the coaches. The trend today is, I love to play 4 lines. Well, Laviolette admits, I want to play 3 lines. And when the occasion is right, I'll go down to 2. If there's lots of stoppage of play, TV timeouts, penalties, at points in the game, he'll rotate 2 lines and bounce them back and forth. He likes to use his big gunners and not so concerned about the depth on the bench. Tonight he's dressed 7 defensemen. He has 2 extra forwards after those 3 lines.
The crowd here buzzing after the linesman fell down following the puck drop. Andrew Hutchinson taken against the wall in the far corner. Into a little trouble. Up the right side, Williams. Carolina dressing 7D tonight. Chugging back to get it is Rod Brindamore. Across to Hutchinson. Gleason. Now Whitney. Murph, does it look to you that the ice might be a little chippy?
Well, basketball game in here this afternoon. It's very difficult. They can switch over, obviously, due to hockey, but the ice suffers for it. It's usually a bit soft.
Sent out in front. Ward kicks it up to the high slot, and it's banked out of there. Ladd tried to wrist it in, controlled by Ben Clymer. Just under 13 minutes remaining here in the first, and we are scoreless. Tanabe. He'll wheel up the right side. The Minnesota native sent it off the partition. The Caps control, and quickly it'll wind up back into the Carolina end. Tanabe, a good skater, back to touch up for icing. Well, David, Tanabe right now scoreless. Yeah. Is this from today again? Or is this the old shot? I guess it doesn't matter, huh? Taking it out, Murph.
Okay. College basketball this afternoon, and this is what happened afterwards. 4.5 hours it took for the changeover. A lot of busy people down there, and touched on it. Makes for soft ice. You see the black comes up, and the ice is underneath it. Yes, they do cut it with the Zamboni, lay some water down on it, but really doesn't get a lot of opportunity to set. It's a disadvantage for a building, a multiple-use building like Washington, the Verizon Center, compared to, say, Detroit and Joe Louis Arena, which is basically strictly hockey. Much easier for them to keep the ice strong. Here, trainers tonight might take a little hollow out of the blade, out of the skate blade, anticipating that will be a bit softer, and that will lead to the puck bouncing around too. Better be very careful in your own zone with that bouncing puck.
Now we got a discussion along the far side about something.
Well, it took three of them
to sort that out.
Sort that one out.
Murph, were you fussy as a player with your skates?
I'd say below average in terms of the fuss department. Didn't really matter what I wore. I couldn't find anything that helped, so I gave up.
Because I know some players are. Very. Those trainers are fixing those skates like mad.
Some players will keep the trainers hopping day in, day out. Changes to their skates.
Here's a steal. Semin walks in, fires, he scores! Alexander Semin with a dart to the top far corner. 1-0 Capitals.
Turnover, transition. Great stand-up play at the point. Semin gets a hold of it. Look at this, he's on his offside, looks for the pass. And at the last possible moment, look out, that stick from behind. Great, tremendous shot by the highly skilled player. Good transition, that's what you love to see. Defense stand up at the blue line.
Alexander Semin now with 28 goals. He came in 7th in the league. And he's got 11 in his last 10 games. And against the Canes, 6 goals in the 6th game. In the corner, Glenn Wesley trying to kick it up the wall. Pettinger digging away back of the net. Brindamore unable to move it. Sent over to the near side. Williams pounded against the wall. Finally, it's thrown out of there by Commodore. Wesley will scoop it up. The Semin goal goes unassisted at 7:56. Kevin Adams digging away in the corner. Heward was toppled, and we're going to get a penalty. What's the call? Holding.
Well, Jamie Heward sticks with the puck. Wearing that visor, got kicked in the face with a skate. Battle along the boards. And Blake, same old story, wraps that arm around.
Washington heading to the power play. Last night they were 1 of 7. Brindamore wastes a little time, throws it deeper into his own end. Holzer got a glove on that long drive, and Washington will start to set things up. The Caps power play 16th, just over 7%. Carolina's penalty kill 9th at 84%. Brindamore dished one ahead looking for Williams. He's going to break off and change. And a miscommunication. Nicolette Strides ahead. A dish looking for Ovechkin, who was flat-footed at the blue line. Stolen by Seidenberg. Now Ovechkin. He scores! Oh, a costly turnover by Dennis Seidenberg, and it's whipped home by Ovechkin. Quickly, 2-0 Washington.
Well, Seidenberg makes a great play below the goal line, creates the turnover. Good stick play, he has time, but loses control of it on his backhand, and wrong guy. It's the wrong guy you want to give the puck to. Ovechkin, oh boy. Feast on that one. On his off wing, comes in the middle. Cam Ward's just basically a spectator at that point. He doesn't miss too many of those. The two highly talented kids on this team put the Caps up 2-0.
Well, the Ovechkin goal should go unassisted. The Semin goal right now is unassisted, but they may change that between periods.
I expect that it will be changed. Defense stood up.
Here's Ovechkin again, galloping over the line, pull and drag around a check, shoots off the post. Sent out in front, Ward under siege. Ovechkin deflected. Ward paddled it to the corner, out in front, Commodore. Carolina dragging the line, sent on net by Walker. And Carolina looks rattled. Schultz sends it D to D, comes back to Schultz. Recently called up from Hershey because of the injuries. John Erskine still out of the lineup, as is Brian Muir. We mentioned Pothier in the open. Whitney stepped over the puck in the center circle, and it's sent back in to the Carolina, and Pettinger centers, backhand, chip just wide. Collette pounded against the wall by Brindamore. Snapped over to the near wall, and Whitney will sweep it in. Ovechkin with that goal extends his point scoring streak to 11 straight. Over that span, 6 goals and 11 assists. That matches his career best. Brashear dives to get it, and he'll scoop up the puck center. That pass handcuffed Chris Beach. A steal by Beach. Williams was just overpowered. Chris Clark, the captain, working away along the near side. Carolina controls. Seidenberg at the red line, dumps it in. Just under 8 minutes remaining here in the first. Semin and Ovechkin have scored for Washington, and it is 2-0 Capitals. Commodore swings it deep. He'll go chase after it. Tries to apply the hit, stolen by Cole. Up top. Cole lost it, and here's trouble. A breakaway for Semin. Wheels in. Shoots. He scores!
Ho, ho, ho. Oh, wrong guy to lose the puck to. Turnover, Cole. Semin off to the races. Backhand, pulls it to his forehand. Great momentum coming down the ice. Takes it to his forehand, changes the angle. Ward cannot get over. Goes down, blocked the low part of the net. Semin throws it up high. This guy can shoot the puck. He has as quick as release as anybody in the National Hockey League.
Well, Murph, we had a chance to catch up with the captain of the Capitals this morning, Chris Clark, and we talked about Alexander Semin, and he said once he gets inside the blue line, his moves are unbelievable. You just cannot imagine how good this guy is with the puck.
Well, you can make the argument that he is a more talented player than Ovechkin. Maybe not as flashy, not as exciting, not as gritty, But sheer talent, you can make that argument.
He's only 2 goals behind him. With 2 tonight, he's got 29. Ovechkin with the power play goal tonight.
Oh,
with
look
31.
At this one. Look at Ovechkin. He sees Stahl on defense, and he tries to take advantage, and he succeeds.
A dazzling move right here. Between the legs. Around he goes. But this one went off the post. The Caps 3. Carolina nothing. You're watching the NHL on HDNet. 3-0 Washington, and that man, Alexander Semenmurph, has 2 of the 3 goals, and he's a changed player. The last 2 seasons, essentially, including the lockout, he had played in Russia. Last year, he had a dispute with the team and stayed in Russia. But Glenn Hanlon said he has come back. He is more mature. This guy was a first-round pick as well, and his minutes have gone up. He has earned.
Well, I don't care if he's mature or not, Judd. What we have seen tonight is greatness. If he keeps doing that night in, night out, which this season he has had a tremendous season. Of late, lighting the lamp, his confidence level. I mean, you just see it on those goals. No one was going to stop him. You just feel it.
Here's Brindamore. And what do you do if you're Carolina now, Murph?
Well, looks like you need a field goal.
Who's kicking on this team? Commodore shoots. Kolzig fought it off. Rebound, Brindamore. Couldn't get the shot through. Maybe the Panthers send somebody onto the bench. Commodore.
Well, Carolina they do have a lot of time left. That's the one plus.
Ward with a good stop along the near side. Clark centers, deflected by Ward to the far corner. And the times that we've seen Washington, when they have built leads, other teams have been able to come back. Likewise, if they're down, they're usually able to come back in. Last night, somewhat of an exception. They were down 2-0 in that game and tied it up at 2. Ovechkin dangles, cuts through the slot, lost it. He could take a few more chances with the team having a sizable lead.
Well, that's the smart approach. Washington needs to continue to play and put pressure on Carolina. The worst thing to do at this point is start circling the wagons, because that just allows the opposition, Carolina in this case, to take the play to them. Good move, Washington. Keep pressing.
Seidenberg. Rink wide, Tanabe. The crowd trying to get at Cam Ward. Several players dig in front of the penalty box for the puck. Controlled by Fair. Bounces one in. Look out, the linesman almost took another digger. Ray Whitney. It's like they didn't freeze the pucks. Back of the net. It didn't roll cleanly to Ward, who got clotheslined. In the corner, Brooks Lyke trying to dig it out of there. 4.5 minutes remaining in the first. 3-0 Caps. Kolzig fights off that opportunity from the far circle from Whitney, and then Kolzig scrambles back into position. Gleason rattled one into the corner, gloved up to the point. Gleason hustles to keep it in. Whitney along the near side. Hutchinson hustles to get into the corner. LaRose centered again. And because of that, Carolina didn't get a shot away. Hustling is Morrison. Can't get the puck to settle. He rolls it in. They need lacrosse sticks. Stahl brought it in offside. And I thought we were going to get a little activity there as Ladd got bumped along the near wall. All Washington here early. 3-0. You're watching the NHL on HDNet.
4 minutes left in the first period. Washington Capitals, they have all the goals, and it's the high heat is the shot of the day. Look at all three of them. Semin up high under the bar, over the glove. Ovechkin under the bar, over the glove. Semin again under the bar, over the glove. A little bit of a trend there, Judd. You'd almost think there was some sort of discussion where to shoot it. But Cam Ward, boy, he can't be too happy with his defense. I mean, those are clear-cut, great opportunities for Washington. They've taken advantage.
Turnovers in transition.
That's the case. Carolina comes out tonight after a 6-2 victory last night, not paying that much to the details, and look what happens to them. They cough up the puck.
Well, Peter Laviolette said before the game that it's been a challenge this year as the defending champs. Every team is fired up for you. You're getting every team's A game for the most part. It's been difficult, but he said the team has gotten better throughout the season.
Will serve them well in the playoffs. Tougher the competition you play during the season will help you, of course, in the playoffs, and that's a good point. Stanley Cup champs come to town. Everybody's gunning for them.
That puck didn't roll the way it was supposed to for Ray Whitney. Rattled in, and both teams are going to change. Williams. Watched by Morrison. Stahl fired, they score! Justin Williams threw a screen, blasted it home, and Carolina is on the board, and Kolzig is complaining. I think he felt there should have been a penalty.
Well, they've got themselves back into it. Play down low, Washington. Forwards get caught up. Williams wide open in the slot. Forward, Washington players right there managed to run into each other. Ovechkin comes back down, but that's not his man. He tries to cover him. His man is the point man. Williams finds that quiet area. Washington shoots themselves in the foot.
That's 26 goals now for Williams, tied for 10th in the league coming in. He had 31 all of last year, which was a career high. Stahl. The Caps paddle it to the near point. Tanabe keeps it in. And it's kicked back into the neutral zone. Walker has to limp back out to center ice. And Carolina's going to change the group they have out there with just over 2 minutes remaining here in the first. LaRose's steal. LaRose shoots, deflected, fired, they score! Eric Cole sweeps up the trash in front, fires it onto the bar, and Carolina within one.
Oh, the Capitals, sloppy play in their own zone. Turnover. Get to the blue line, you've got to get it out. The Rose all over, gets the puck to net. It's a good bounce for Cole. The mistake was made earlier. Washington have got to focus, get the puck over the blue line. Eric Cole in the right spot, the right time. Boy, things were in control, 3-0 now. They're with 2 minutes left. They'll be fortunate the way it's going now to have that 1-goal lead going into intermission.
So Carolina starts to chip away, creates off some of the mistakes. Sotheby to the corner, Gordon mashed against the wall by Wesley. Smacked over to the far side, and Whitney drills it out to the neutral zone. Morrison, rink wide, and it's kicked in deep. Quick changes for both teams. Washington led 3-0, 12 and a half minutes into the game. And it's now 3-2 with just over a minute remaining in the first. Kolzig's going to freeze this.
Well, Washington's confidence is not too strong at this point. Got to regroup. They've got to finish this minute 14. Play with some confidence. And Glenn Hanlon's got to be wondering, why me? Why me? We got out 3-0, boys. Why? we shoot ourselves in the foot.
But isn't that what you get sometimes, Murph, with a very young team, and that's what the Capitals are?
Well, last season I would have bought that argument. And they are a young team, Judd. I'm not disagreeing with that, but they've, at some point, you can't use that excuse anymore. And I'm sure Glenn Hanlon, that's actually the position he's taken this season. He expects much more leadership from within the team. He doesn't want to be a teacher out there. He wants these guys to go out and play. And that's been the message this season. At moments, we've seen it. Example tonight, first half of this period, played great. Second half, all of a sudden, it's like they forgot how to play.
Out in the neutral zone, controlled by the Caps. Morrison to the far side. Eminger bounced in deep. Eminger a -4 last night. But prior to that, Glenn Hanlon said in the previous 10 games he had really handled the extra responsibility very well. Clark crashes against the wall to try and scoop up the puck. Clark muscles it free. Gets some help from Zubris. 25 seconds remaining. Another steal. Fed to the far side. Williams cuts in. Batted aside by Kolzig, but we're going to have a Washington penalty.
Eminger has no choice but to make the hook. The scoring chances are coming in bunches. Standing still, the play comes around. He's got to get a stick on Williams there, which he does. Those are the penalties. Even though they gave up the puck, it shouldn't have had themselves in that position. You don't mind a scoring opportunity taking a penalty to save a goal.
Cole threw it up to the high slot, and it's batted right now to the Caps Sotheby, and he'll dish it deep, and that'll do it for the opening 20 minutes. All sorts of activity. Washington got out to a 3-0 lead by the 12:41 mark, but Cam Ward and the Hurricanes stay poised, chip away. Justin Williams scores his 26th at 16:59, and then 50 seconds later, Eric Cole swoops in and makes it a one-goal game.
Well, things turned around. Washington now reeling, and the Stanley Cup champs, they're not Stanley Cup champs for a fluke, because this team, very tenacious, get themselves back into the game, and they did that. That's the one thing. They talk about the worst lead in hockey is up 3-0. Well, it's the worst lead when you have it in the first period and you stop playing like Washington has. And some mistakes in their own end, not paying attention to detail, but they've let Carolina back in the game. They've only got themselves to blame.
Where do you see some of the breakdowns, Murph? Is it from the forwards not maintaining their coverage, or the defensemen?
They go out with a game plan, be responsible, move the puck, jump. They traded turnovers. The first goal was an example of that, standing up the blue line. It's just being assertive. You get the puck, do something with it. Get it over the blue line. Don't get caught no man's land, which has happened to them a number of occasions that period for the defense. It's just playing with confidence and playing hard and making those big, hard passes that you need to make instead of just hanging on the puck and then giving it up.
Downstairs, we're joined by Washington's all-star forward, Alexander Ovechkin. Alexander, you guys got out to an outstanding start. What keyed that 12.5 minutes into the game?
Well, we play our system. We hit Carolina, and we shoot the puck, and we play by our goalie Olaf Kolzig, and he saved us. And but these two goals we just played no attention, and they scored 2 goals.
What do you need to do going into this second period? What needs to be said in the dressing room to get you guys back on track?
Play how we play first 10 minutes. Play very aggressive and try play very hard to defensively. And this is a key when we play our system. Play hard in defense and hit and go to the attack. We have good moment, but when we play, I don't know what we play, and we didn't play well, and they scored 2 goals.
How can you guys compensate, Alexander, missing 3 key defensemen in the lineup?
Well, it's it's not good for us, not good for team, and but we have great players. Shilzy playing very well. Nicola play good, and it's help us, and they take experience.
Alexander, I saw a quote from Mark Messier during the All-Star game, and he talked about you trying to become a more complete player so you can be more dangerous and used in more situations. What's Messier getting at with that comment?
I don't know. Maybe he think. Maybe he tell I have to shoot more.
No, you shoot plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're leading by a wide margin, but do you think you need to become a more complete player? I know that you're working on things defensively. How far do you still have to go?
Well, it's for me, defensive play very hard, and I try how I can, and we always talk with my coach, and he tell what I have to do to be better. So I want to be better.
Alex, thanks for joining us. Best of luck in the final
Thanks.
2 periods.
Thanks.
Thanks, Alex.
It's Alexander Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals, and I think that that's what separates Alexander Ovechkin maybe from some of the other star players, that he is a guy that wants to be better at the other end of the ice. He is a guy who wants to play in all situations.
He has the respect of his teammates for a number of reasons. One, because of what a great talent, a great player he is. Two, he's such a hard worker. But I think three, and you hear it all the time, is that he wants to become a better player. And in his own end, that was an area that he needed to improve on, and he's worked on it this season. It's not going to come overnight, but still, take everything into consideration what we say about him. The guy is still a star in this league and a huge, important player for these Capitals.
He's a superstar and fun to watch, and the crowd is certainly into it tonight here at the Verizon Center. It's a big division tilt. Get your pictures while you can. Don't miss a minute of the action. 5 goals have already been scored in the game. Stay with us. More in this first intermission. We're going to hear from John Van Beesbroek, who sat down with all the All-Star coaches. You're watching the NHL on HDNet. That's okay. Welcome back to DC. We're about ready to start the second period here at the Verizon Center. 3-2 Washington. Tonight here on HDNet, we are giving away an authentic Washington Capitals jersey that was signed this morning by Alexander Semin, who has a pair tonight and now 29 on the season. For your opportunity to win, go to www.hd.net/win. hd.net/win, and we'll be giving that away sometime during the second intermission. Oh, all sorts of stats. Oh, that is a great jersey. The numbers, you can see the shots Murph 10-8 in favor of Carolina. They took the last 7 shots of the entire period.
Well, they've taken it over. First half, Washington. Second half, Carolina. And with this power play, they can tie this one up.
And hitting a big factor, Washington came out throwing the body around, as Alexander Ovechkin told us. 9 hits in that first period, and it helped them generate 3 goals. Carolina starts out on the power play. Whitney shoots. Kolzig the save. Williams turns. Up top, Brindamore quickly. Whitney shoots. Kolzig the save, and somehow holds that.
Ray Whitney, 2 good shots on the power play. It's what you want. Get the puck deep, and Ray Whitney is known for a passer, but has the ability to fire the one-timer, and he's on the point. He's back there because predominantly a playmaker, but when he sees the lane, he's got a good shot, good accurate shot. Doesn't usually get blocked.
Brindamore up top. It slides by Whitney, and it'll wobble back into the Carolina end. 1 more minute to go on the Eminger minor. For Carolina, this is their second power play chance. Ladd swings it around to the far side. Williams turns at the hash marks. Whitney shoots, and it's blasted wide, and Kolzig got knotted up with Heward out in front. Brindamore for Whitney. Brindamore fires. That hit a leg. Centered out in front, and it just bounced away from Seidenberg. 2-on-2 the other way as Whitney hustles back defensively. Ward the save on the long drive from the far point. Countering, Stahl, little room. Drop pass near side. Williams centers, deflected. It trickles right of the net. Almost a second chance there for Williams. Backpedaling is Cole. I don't think he's accustomed to that, Murphy. He looked a little awkward skating backwards. 5 seconds left on the minor to Eminger. Walker blasts one. Holza got to make the stop. Here's Eminger out of the box. Got a little room. Centers. Gordon shoots. And fought off there by Ward. And we've got a stop.
Oh, and a great play coming out of the box. Steve Eminger gets himself involved offensively, leads to a power play. Johnny on the spot, gets hold of the puck. Turns into a 2-on-1. They couldn't get the puck high enough. There's the hold. Nice play, Steve Eminger. That's what you always hope for when you're sitting in that penalty box when it's up, that you get yourself involved with a scoring chance. Does a good job and ends up, because of his play, they're now on a power play.
Murph, it looked again that Ward had the glove down and the top shelf was available.
Well, they've obviously saw something they feel they can exploit.
The Caps 1 for 1 on the power play. That was the Alexander Ovechkin goal after the giveaway by Seidenberg. Semin blows a tire. And we've got a penalty. Well, the light now just comes on. But what does the referee indicate?
Well, they have to sort this one out. Ovechkin thought it was in. Semin draws a penalty. And veteran Glenn Wesley still arguing his case and told, go in the box. Semin makes the move right there, catches him. His argument is he catches him with the glove and not the stick.
Cross-checking is the
looking
call.
for anybody that'll agree with him. Of course, now the video judge brought into play just to make sure. Semin keeps his feet moving. Guy's got great speed, keeps pumping. Feels that push from the back and down he goes. We've seen that all night from Semin, keeping his feet moving. He's a quick skater, but he doesn't let up.
I think Semin was surprised that there was a penalty. He looked back at the referee as though he might have been the culprit. 5-on-3 here for a while. Semin. Right of the net, Zubris. Semin blasts one. Look out back of the net. 1:14 left in the 5-on-3. Ovechkin. How scary is that up top? Semin. Ovechkin fires. Blocked. Have fun. Ovechkin hustles over to keep it with a glove. Wheels in, right of the net. Zubris looks. Centers. Hit a leg. And it's swept out of there.
Too tempting for him to go across the middle. Took the bait.
Zubris spins away from a check. He's having career, or on pace for having career years in both goals and points. Semin fires, blocked. Fired again, blocked. Ovechkin couldn't get it through, and limping back to the bench is Gleason, just coming off a busted foot. Zubris gave it away.
Oh, he's got to take a look.
Diving to try and get to it was Commodore. He overskated it. 2-on-1 down low. And the centering feed is blocked by a diving Seidenberg. An opportunity from Zubris. Pad save made by Ward. 5-on-4 now for 20 seconds as Hutchinson leaves. Rister deflected to the corner. Carolina blocking a ton of shots right now. Pettinger swoops to the far hash marks up top. Ovechkin. High slot pestered. Threw one into the circle. And it paddled out of there by Seidenberg. Carolina able to kill off that full 5-on-3. Back to full strength. Beach motors in, uses the long reach. Poke check, gets it back of the net. Tanabe can't scoop up the puck. Beach, at times playing on the second line this year, now back on the fourth line. Flipped in by Ladd. He'll chase. Heward wanted to make sure the refs knew he didn't interfere. Wesley out in the neutral zone. And this one goes off the top of the glass and into the seats. The discussion about where the faceoff is.
Washington tries the 5-forward approach on the 5-on-3 and puts the big gunners back at the point. Carolina, they didn't mind standing in front of those shots. Not too many got through. Boy, that would, for Glenn Hanlon, that would have been a nice, give him a little more of a pad. They could have scored on the 5-on-3, but this period, though, they seem to have things back on track defensively.
Wesley races back to get it. No icing here. Glenn Wesley drives it up the right side. Chasing now is Cole. Cole out of Oswego, New York. Played 3 seasons at Clarkson, a third-round pick of Carolina, and quite a find for this organization. And last year for the U.S. Olympic team. And having another fine campaign this year with 21 goals and 46 points. Back of the net, Morrison. Sent it around to the near side. He'll scoop it up himself. Had to avoid the hit that was coming from Craig Adams. Turning is Tanabe. Across to Gleason. Deflected in. Kolzig. I think he wanted to send it across the goal mouth, but thought better of it. Just under 14 minutes remaining here in the second. Nobody's scored as of yet here this period. Washington with a 3-2 lead over Carolina. Come on back. You're watching the NHL on HDNet. Okay, good. On the first Carolina goal, it's 11 from 12 and 4 to Seidenberg.
Ingrid's here.
And then if you can,
Yeah.
okay. Second Carolina goal, 26 from 27 and 59. Wow, that's not even close. Hold on, 27. Yeah, I didn't think Commodore got an assist on that. Adams. Okay. Got it.
On the power play, Washington wants to shoot the puck. The big 2 shooters, Rod Brendamore blocks that one. We saw it for 2 minutes. Covering the shooting zone. They get Zubris. Boy, you got to take what they give you. Tries to force a play through the middle. Tim Gleason's right there to block it. When you're on the power play, you have to take what the opposition gives you. Yes, you want to go out and achieve different things, but if the penalty killers are taking it away from you, you've got to go quickly to plan B, or things are going to go very wrong for you.
All sorts of blocks there by Carolina. There was some talk here in Washington, Murph, because the Caps have lost so many defensemen to broken feet that they feel like George McPhee said there should be more protection in the skates. Glenn Hanlon said, I don't know how defensemen don't break a foot every game.
Well, it's changed so much, Judd. Defensemen are now mostly shot blockers. They don't battle in front of the net. They try to get position, try to stop the puck from getting towards the net. And the trend is going to be. That's where your feet. That's the greatest chance you have of getting an injury with a puck is on your feet, because the protection is nowhere near as good with your skates as is with other equipment.
Pattinger up top, Heward rifles one, blocked again. Carolina almost away on a 3-on-2. It'll be a 2-on-2 now. Williams near circle, Whitney. This one goes into the netting. Are we going to see at some point, Murph, that the Craig Ludwig shin pads come back into play? Those things were gigantic.
The wings. I don't know how he could skate.
He didn't.
You had to keep your feet far apart, but yeah, he had on the sides. He seemed to have those flaps. And he was an excellent shot blocker. Tough to get it by him. It was like, as you say, it was like you're looking at big goal pads.
We step aside now for the sights and sounds here in Washington. A little activity out in front as Eminger and Stillman talk things over, but Cam Ward's glove has got to be feeling some of that heat from the Alexander Semmett shot.
They like going after the glove. Cam Ward settled down. Can't really blame him on those goals. They're good, strong scoring opportunities. Held his composure. I guess when you go to Stanley Cup Finals Game 7, you build up some strength.
He's
mental toughness.
Only the fourth rookie goaltender to ever win the Conn Smythe. Patrick Waugh, Ken Dryden, and Ron Hextall, the other three. Right of the net, nearly an opportunity there on Kolzig, who covers up. And keep in mind that Ward was not the #1 guy when Carolina started the postseason last year against Montreal.
Well, he took over, and that's what depth does for you. Now has put himself in position A, #1 goaltender now for Carolina. And we took a look at him. He looks like somebody that's confident, even though he's given up 3 goals, and that's what you want. Things don't always go your way. You're not always going to pitch a shutout. Get a little adversity. Question is, how well can you handle it?
And Peter Laviolette before the game said that his numbers don't really reflect how well he has played. When we've struggled as a team, that's why maybe his numbers are a little bit higher than you would expect. But he has played well and he has adjusted well, because there's got to be a lot of internal pressure being the Conn Smythe winner and doing it as a rookie and then coming back and trying to repeat that type of effort.
It's going to be very difficult.
Pettinger, left circle. Puck hopped on him. Brindamore grabs a hold in the corner. Some of the Florida players were complaining that Brindamore getting the benefit of some very kind officiating. Getting calls against him and not getting penalties in other instances. Williams pounded against the wall, near side. Seidenberg keeps it in. Mike Green flips it over to the far side and out to the neutral zone. Green represented the Capitals at the Young Stars game. Walker. Seidenberg's lost his stick. He kicks it up the near side and out to center ice. Nicely done. Back of the net, Schultz send it around to the far side. And it's banked back into the Canes end. 9.5 minutes remaining in the second. Still 3-2 Washington. Washington got out to a 3-0 lead just under 13 minutes into the game. 2 from Alexander Semin, 1 from Alexander Ovechkin. But Carolina, with goals 50 seconds apart, has made it a 1-goal game. Ole Kolzig, a lot of work to do. You're watching the NHL on HDNet.
Washington holds on to a 1-goal lead. This man right here, Alexander Semin, has been the best player on the ice. Starts it off with the goal number 1. There's his second goal. Puts the Caps up 3-0, boy. He plays with a tremendous amount of confidence. Head up all the time.
Tonight we're giving away that man's autographed Capitals jersey for your opportunity to win it. There you take a look at it. The home jersey here for Washington. Go to www.hd.net/win. hd.net/win. We'll be giving that away sometime during the second intermission, so that's coming up. Alexander Semin now with 12 goals in January, the most in the NHL and the most by a Caps player in a single month in 10 years. Peter Bondra had 12 in January of '97. Left to the net, Walker. Send it over to the far side. Ovechkin rambles through the middle, over the line, right circle, shoots, and he blistered it wide. Wow. Dug out by Zubris. We got a delayed penalty coming here on Carolina. They've gotten themselves into some penalty problems early, and they're one of the most disciplined teams in the league. Wesley touches up.
Well, it doesn't matter how disciplined you are. If the opposition puts you on your heels, there's a chance that this is going to happen to you. Hooking call to Eric Stahl in Washington. After Ovechkin fires the puck wide, really puts a lot of pressure offensively. Zubris behind the net, gets the puck, and then just catch at the end of that clip. Stahl turns around, puts the stick on him.
Maybe they let him get away with that in the All-Star game. There were no penalties.
No hitting, no penalties, and lots of scoring.
Back of the net, Fair had it roll by him. Eric Fair just recently called up from Hershey. Jacob Klepish sent down after taking 2 poor penalties last night in the 6-2 loss in Carolina. Here's Semin. Tries to glide in. Had it poke checked away and sent back into the Cap zone. 1:15 remaining in the minor to Stahl. Just under 8 minutes remaining in the second. For the Caps, this is their 4th chance on the power plays. It's blasted in by Nicolette. They scored on their first. Ovechkin getting that goal. Clark, poke check. Carolina couldn't backhand it out. Semin, wrister, knocked down and sent wide. Adams couldn't tap it by Clymer. Clymer leaves it back of the net. Ovechkin, he's got Semin sneaking in. Wrister blocked, and it comes back into the neutral zone. Semin with 13 on the power play, and Ovechkin with his power play marker tonight ties him for the team lead with 13. Left of the net, drilled, and it's blocked out in front. Zubris might have deflected that out in front of Cam Ward. Adams Back of the net, giveaway, Ovechkin fakes, shoots for the stop. Oh, a tremendous save. Cam Ward has made some terrific stops to keep his team within one. Stahl. I think even through that tinted shield, you can see Ovechkin's eyes light up. Heward rubbed out. Sotheby with a big hit in the corner on Ladd. Carolina still digging away. Stahl got knocked down. That was a cross check in the first period. Or pardon me, here in the second when Wesley got nailed. Oh, a big collision at the end boards. Going down awkwardly was Babchuk. Walker. Shoulder to shoulder with Eminger. Seidenberg. Lister over the crossbar. Kolzig scrambles back into position. Walker almost stuffed it inside the far post. Pulled out by Eminger. White. Driven hard against the wall by Seidenberg. The German defenseman pins him. LaRose, Stillman through the middle. Cole dragged the line. Stillman with the puck. Stillman. Back of the net. Stillman. Belanger. Rims it to the point. Stillman. Far corner, Nicolette scoops it up. Doesn't get it out. Waiting for it with Stillman. Tanabe, the far point. Tanabe shoots, a leg, back of the net. Brindamore centers. The Caps in good position. Fair, wings one through the middle. Tanabe had it bounce over his stick, out in front, fired, they score! Eric Fair converts off the turnover. A huge Capitals goal to make it 4-2.
Oh, redeems himself, takes that first period penalty, comes out, scores a huge goal for the Capitals. Scrambling in their own end, they finally get it down. Carolina's zone. Good hard work. Oh, nice. Turns over the puck. Semin, good forecheck, and Fair picks it up. Puts the Caps up 4-2.
That's his first NHL goal.
Well, that's what you need to do if you want to stay up with the big club. Taking penalties doesn't help your cause.
Commodore chops at it to keep it in, pops into the neutral zone. So it's a 2-goal margin now. Brindamore to the middle, Whitney. Carolina 8th in the league offensively, averaging over 3 goals a game. And Washington defensively has had its issues, especially allowing shots on net. They've only allowed 18 thus far, which is below average. They allow in the mid-30s. Dug out of there by Schultz. Through the middle, Clymer. 3-on-2 here. Carolina a little slow to get back. Finally they do, and Walker scoops up the puck. Semin gets an assist, so he's got a 3-point night going. Time of the goal, 15-18. And the only goal thus far this period. Big collision in the far corner. And Ladd, slow to get back to the bench. A lot of people feel that the way Washington plays, when they play like this, they are the hardest team in the East to play against. Because they are so physical, they are big, they take a lot of penalties. Very difficult.
They lay back, play tentative, they get themselves in trouble.
Cole touches in the corner. Icing is nullified. Adams. Shoveled along the near wall, and here's Fair. Nicolette cranks it down low. Seidenberg hooked, fired. Ward, another stop on Fair.
Oh, yeah, kid. Great job. Gotta be careful. Seidenberg, he's had a tough go of it tonight. Thank you very much. Pick the pocket. Goes high this time. Ward gets out.
Well, Eric Fair converted off a turnover earlier to make it 4-2 Washington. Semin got him the puck. In it goes. You're watching the NHL on HDNet. Welcome back to Washington. That man Eric Fair just recently scored his first NHL goal at the 15-18 mark. Fair second on the Hershey Bears in scoring, playing for that great franchise, which last year he was a part of and won the Calder Cup. This Washington organization rich in young talent, but still developing. As Clark said, part of the problem for us is we have a whistle behind the plane that's going to be an elbow, is that we have to believe that we're a playoff team, and Sean Morrison, I think, is going to be the culprit after brushing Rod Brindamore.
Well, what Washington needs to do is stay in the playoff race right to the end. I mean, of course, best case scenario, make the playoffs, but it's important for these players to get involved in big, huge games. Worst case scenario, you fall out of the playoff picture early. At the end of the season, the games really don't mean that much. You don't get that experience of playing under that pressure.
When we talked to Glenn Hanlon the last time we were here in early January, and he talked about whether or not his team was playoff ready, he wouldn't give a straight answer. Centered out in front, Whitney to the far corner. Brindamore can't reach it, comes into the neutral zone for Carolina. This is their third chance in the power play, scoreless with it. But a big moment here late in the second period, trailing by 2. Seidenberg up top, angled skillfully over to the near side. Williams fired, blockered aside by Kolzig. And it's pumped out of there.
Well, the one thing I like about Carolina's power play, lots of movement. They don't stand around, they move and try to get the puck towards the net.
Williams and Cole have the Carolina goals. Seidenberg fires, deflected into the corner, and cranked out of there by Nick Gillette. Including tonight, Washington has killed 24 of its last 24 shorthanded situations. We're under a minute remaining here in the second. 4-2 Caps. Seidenberg in the corner. Walker had fallen down, gets up, grabs the puck. Stillman flipped by Stahl over to the near side. Stahl with a helper tonight. Here's Pettinger, cruises in, pulls up, and he'll waste a little time along the near side. Half a minute remaining in the second, and just about the same time remaining on the penalty clock. Stahl digging away. Walker to the point, Tanabe. Tries to settle it back of the net. Ooh, Walker took a hit to the back of the head from Eminger. And the puck lobbed back into the Carolina zone. 10 seconds remaining here in the second. Cole rips it in. Far side centered. And that'll do it for 40 minutes. Ole Kolzig not called upon to make a ton of stops. Cam Ward was the guy who had to stop most of the pucks. Alexander Semin with an opportunity. Eric Fair with an opportunity after he scored his first. And Ward keeping his team close.
Washington regroups after the poor finish to the first period. Come out with a strong bounce back effort on their part. Now Carolina got themselves down 2 goals.
Turnovers definitely seem to be the issue for Carolina tonight. Some of them forced, some of them unforced.
Well, if turnovers is such a big part, you get yourself in trouble, of course. And then Washington, they do a good job forechecking, picking your pocket. We see Semin can do it, Ovechkin can do it. Fair comes in, makes a huge play, picks the pocket. So Washington does a good job. You got to be on your toes, defensemen with Washington. They can score goals, they can turn pucks over. They did a good job forcing Carolina's defensemen into mistakes.
Well, joining us downstairs is one of Carolina's all-stars this year, Eric Stahl. Eric, in that period, it looked like you had things under control in the first 10 minutes. Were turnovers the issue once again?
Yeah, I think that's been the issue the whole game. You know, we got to get pucks in their end. Simple at the blue lines, work their defense. When we do that, we create offense and create chances and power plays, and we got to limit those turnovers.
Are you seeing a different Washington team tonight than you did last night?
Yeah, it's been a different game, obviously. It's tougher on the road for us. They came out skating, banging, and, you know, they got off to an early lead, buried their chances, and we battled back a little bit. We just got to get, get it going in the third and get 2 more.
Eric, tonight, even though Cam Ward has seen 4 go by him, he's made some huge stops. What impresses you about the way he plays? You're a young player, too, but this is a guy who has all sorts of hype after winning the Conn Smythe last year.
Well, he's so poised and so calm in that net. He just gives you that ease when the opportunities come for the other team. He's going to be there, and he was so successful for us all playoffs last year, and kept us in games, and he's done no different this season.
Coming into the season as Stanley Cup champions, do you feel like all the teams are gunning for you when you play them?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, a little bit more. Obviously, we're not under the radar anymore. Had a great season last year. Finishing with a championship, and nothing more you can ask for. It's just, this year we got to be ready to play every night. Teams are going to be against us, and we got to be simple and play the game we played in the playoffs last year.
Finally, Eric, how's the year gone for you? You put up some monster numbers last year. Obviously, it's difficult to repeat that type of effort.
Well, I'm just looking to help our team win games and get into the playoffs again. It's all about winning those championships. That's what you remember by. I want to put up numbers, obviously, and help my team offensively as best I can. And, it's been going pretty good, but it could be better. But, it's a long year yet, and, as long as we're getting those wins, I don't really care.
Would you have liked to have had a tiebreaker to try and beat Hossa in the accuracy competition?
Sure, why not? Would have been fun, but I wish I would have hit that last target before the 5th puck came. But, it was a great time there.
Thanks for joining us. Best of luck in the third.
Thanks, guys.
That's Eric Stahl, the Carolina Hurricanes, and he talked about it, that this team surprised a lot of people last year. No surprises this year. This is a good young group, very talented up front. They've had some injuries and they've had some inconsistencies, but very dangerous.
Well, a problem that they could possibly have is they're looking towards the playoffs. The old hangover, they came out this season with it. It's very difficult winning the cup and then coming back out and playing in that level again. So this team, this is a season where they've gone through it once, so they just want to move through this season, try to be the best they can once the playoff starts. Of course, they've got to get themselves in the playoffs. Injuries have been a bit of a problem for them, but now they believe it, and they're working towards that goal, and that's what experience does for you. Now they know what they need to do.
Well, Carolina trailing 4-2 as they head into the second intermission. We'll have more here from Washington when we return, which includes a piece on the first Japanese-born player to play in the National Hockey League, Yukata Fujifuki. 4-2 Caps. You're watching the NHL on HDNet. 4-2 Caps. We're about ready to start the third period. Stats at the end of 2. Carolina out shooting Washington 20-16. The chances, though, favoring Carolina 11-9. The faceoffs nearly even, which is something that's huge for this Washington team, Murph, because Carolina dominates in the faceoff dot. They are 5th in the league, and Washington is not very good in that area.
Well, the big story, I think, the second period is Washington stretches it out now to a 2-goal advantage. The last thing you want to do is go into that period after leading 3-0, going up just up 1 goal, and then a fluke goal ends up causing you to end up in a tie. And for Washington, this is a huge period for this team. They're basically at the point now in their season where every game is so important. Let's see what they can put out in this third period, if they can hold on to this one.
Washington has only won once in the last 6 games. Carolina has only lost in regulation once in the last 8. And that one loss came against these Capitals, 5-2. And afterward, Peter Laviolette not pleased as he put the boys through a very stiff practice. Zubris tried to center it out in front, sent over to the far side. That practice so tough that one of the players, he expected it after Laviolette had a 36-second post-game press conference. One of the unnamed players said, "I knew peanut butter on toast wasn't going to cut it the next day."
Oh.
Far side, Pettinger. Here's Whitney. Swoops in, fires, and that knuckleball stopped by Kolzig. Fired up the far side and out. Gleason. Right wing Williams. Brindamore. Whitney. And it's cranked up the far side and out. Tanabe. Whitney angles it in. Nicolette. Like fires, Ward keeps it from going between his legs.
There's been a change in the scoring on the first hurricane. A second assist.
Well, Washington comes out, continues to play, unlike the end of the first period where they had the lead, they shut things down. The message from Glenn Hanneman seems to stick.
Well, the message seems to be, Murph, that it's not a matter of effort necessarily, but they need to work harder in the right areas, being smarter players. Tanabe stepped up with a big hit, but it'll trigger a Caps rush. Fair had his pocket picked. Seidenberg hit square by Semin. Maybe unintentionally, but it'll look good in the stats. Back of the net, Stillman. The Caps get command of it. Lose it in the neutral zone. Semin gets it back. He's got a 3-point night going. 2 goals in the first period and an assist on the insurance goal in the second. Ladd fires. Kolzig the save deep. Way out of his net. Ladd shoots. Kolzig the save. We got a penalty upcoming to Carolina. Clymer flings it back to the net. Brashear over to the near side. Bounced up top. Schultz shoots, blocked. Clymer backs it off. 6-on-5 here. Ovechkin gets the puck through a few guys right of the net. They score! Alexander Ovechkin knifed his way through 2 players, and Chris Beach pounded it in, 5-2.
Oh boy, the delayed call, 6-on-5. Washington very patient. Ovechkin walks out, draws so much attention to himself. Chris Beach wide open, smart move. Whoa, how are you? Dipsy-do, and around it goes. And Chris Beach, smart player, just finds that perfect spot on the ice. Ovechkin, great play. Washington takes charge. They get that 3-goal lead back.
How does he get that puck between those two defenders right there and then get it across?
Well, if we get a chance to look at his stick, Ovechkin, the rules changed this season, a bigger curve. Ovechkin went to a very big toe curve. What that allows, we saw it there, the toe drag, very deceptive move, and he uses that to his advantage. Boy, that was sweet.
When we do get another look, it appeared that one or both of those Carolina players had a chance to touch and just missed the puck.
Well, it's very deceptive the way he moves the puck. He convinces them that they can get a hold of it. That's how he does it. He sells it. And then that quick toe pull, he walks around them.
For Chris Beach, that's his first goal in just over a month. His last one coming against Buffalo on December 26th. And Brindamore brings it in offside.
Well, you don't get tired of looking at this. Ovechkin, there's one. Oh, you got me. Look at that, pulls it in with the toe. Could have called a couple more penalties on that one. Like was all over him, makes a beautiful pass to Chris Beach. He's got to be thinking to himself, I want to be on the ice more often with that guy.
All you got to do is stand there. Everybody gets mesmerized. He gets you the puck. Ovechkin with a goal and an assist tonight, points in 11 straight. Over that span, 6 goals, 12 assists. He came in, tied for second in the league with 66 points, trailing Oldney Sidney Crosby. Cole barrels his way into the slot. We got a penalty coming here on the Caps. Semin controls. The call will be made. Remember, earlier in the game, Washington had a 3-goal lead and Carolina cut it to a 1-goal margin.
Well, Lawrence Nicollet gets called for the hook. Ends up being beaten on the play. Half a step. He's got himself at a disadvantage. You've got to be between the puck carrier and the net. He wasn't. That wasn't the case right there on Eric Cole had position.
Cole fires. Kolzig the save. Rebound. Splits the D and will come back into the Carolina end. For the Canes, this is their 4th chance on the power play. They're scoreless with it. And including tonight, they are 4 for 33 on the power play against Washington. Tanabe. Stahl. Chopped out of there by Clark.
Ah, nice play, Chris Clark. Sees a possibility of Tanabe mishandling, jumps all over it.
Stahl, he scores! Somehow that beat Ole Kolzig. Did it change directions? But a hard wrist shot, a power play goal. Carolina within 2.
Well, you touch on how the power play struggled of late, but tonight, I've liked what I've seen so far. Tanabe gets the blue line. Yes, it deflects it. The shot, Kolzig. Stahl lets it go. Tanabe follows through, gets the blade on it, puts it right by Kolzig, and that's just a slight enough deflection for Kolzig. It happens so late that either it hits him or it doesn't. He's not going to be able to move to make the save.
For Tanabe, his first of the season. Stahl with 2 assists tonight.
For Tanabe, that's a case of taking charge yourself. The old give and go. Give, go, get it back.
Eric Stahl now, including the 2 helpers tonight, 46 points. Last year he was 6th in the league with 100 and 8th in the league with 45 goals. Brindamore couldn't keep it in. And we're going to have an offside call here. 14:23 left here in regulation.
Tanabe somebody that's involved. Seidenberg himself has to get involved more offensively. The whole defensive core, you're down a couple of goals, 14 minutes left. No, you don't take foolish risks. But like David Tanabe, you've got to get yourself involved in the offense, whether you're pressing ahead or you're making yourself the fourth man available.
In the slot, Cole took a swat at that Super Ball. The Caps will come the other way. Fair, stick handles, he'll sweep it deep. Ward, bumped by Like. Puck stays in, Heward, back of the net. Cole spun around. Fair took a pop from Belanger. Washington and Carolina starting to change.
Well, Washington, after the change, being very passive. Neutral zone trap.
They do force a turnover. Washington's success early on, staying aggressive, hitting. So we'll see how laying back affects the way they play. We're gonna have an icing call
here. We don't
here.
want to see icing right now. And that's one thing they got to get out of their game is the icing call, because it just hurts. He allows Carolina to put fresh players on the ice.
Carolina able to convert on a power play chance in the third to make it a 2-goal game. You're watching the NHL on HDNet. What are we back with? Okay. Yeah. I forget who did, is that Beavis or Butthead?
Well, we talked about Ovechkin and the toe curve. Boy, those rules were suited for him. Take a look at that. That is all in the toe. That would have been an illegal stick a couple of seasons ago. That is the whole purpose of that stick is not the curve at the toe, really. It's just basically for pulling the puck in. He shoots the puck closer to the shaft of the stick. At the end of it, he just uses it for that dipsy-do play, for deking, for basically making the opposition looking foolish. And he's done that tonight. Cannot look at the puck because you saw how quickly he can move it. He loves that toe drag.
Would you be in favor, Murph, of taking out the curve rules? Just let guys do whatever they want with their sticks?
Well, they're almost there right now. I mean, they've expanded it. The goaltenders, you got to worry about them.
Ovechkin barrels through a couple of players, and Ward covers up. But I would think, for a league that's trying to generate as much offense as possible, that if they think that changing the curves is going to make a difference, why not just take it out? Who cares what kind of stick you use?
They might get there. They didn't want to make that bold of a move, so they just increased the curvature you're allowed. And not all players would take advantage of it. It wouldn't suit all players' games. For Ovechkin, it obviously has.
Well, he said it was a big adjustment for him coming from Europe and changing the stick and what was allowed. And that's really the case with a lot of European players. Grindamore's shot knocked down by Kolzig. Goes to the corner. Morrison could not get it out. Right circle. Whitney centered. And good back pressure. It's sent out of there by Morrison. Each team with a goal this period. Beach for the Caps. Tanabe for the Canes. And it remains a 2-goal margin.
Another icing call against Washington. Well, the clock. Laviolette takes a quick peek, see how much time he's got left. It's not time yet for that long bomb pass, and it's interesting. You see a shot at Glenn Hanlon taking a look at the clock. Can't run fast enough for him right now.
Well, his biggest concern talking to him before the game was about that defensive core. That it just screws everything up when your sixth defenseman is supposed to be playing number 3 minutes and in number 3 situations and on, and there's just no way to get around it.
Well, it puts a lot of pressure on the team. It basically puts a lot more pressure on Kolzig, the goaltender. He's seeing a lot more quality chances against himself.
He said you can usually sustain it for a couple of games, but then guys just get exposed. Seidenberg, poke check. Carolina keeps it in, flings it to the corner. Seidenberg, back of the net. Stillman got drilled, held in by Cole. Stillman try to angle it out in front. Schultz pounds it up the near side. Carolina keeps it in. Hanlon felt that Jeff Schultz, the rookie, was the team's best defenseman last night, but granted, he said he only played 14 minutes because if he plays in more, he's going to get exposed, and we've got a penalty.
Well, managing ice time is so important for a coach. Well, Simmons now got himself on the penalty side of the score sheet. Not going to miss him tonight.
Think he's going to go for the Gordie Howe?
I would be shocked.
Did you ever have the Gordie Howe?
Never had the Gordie Howe. Never came close.
Come on. The Gordie Howe, for those of you who are unaware, is a goal, an assist, and a fight all in the same game. You know, and Larry Murphy, a man who played 40 years in the National Hockey League, never got it. A man who still cannot believe that his jersey does not hang here at the Verizon Center.
Okay, you know what? That's not true. That's how those rumors start.
Out in front, a drive by Ladd, and Kolzig, a brilliant stop.
Oh, that's what you want from your goaltender. Make the big save. Ladd in front of the net. Got to get the puck out. Amateur doesn't, and it leads to a scoring chance. They've got to eliminate that on a consistent basis. They've got to eliminate the icing, got to eliminate the giveaways, because it's going to bite you eventually.
That is a huge stop. Carolina still with another minute and a half on the power play. Stillman. Stahl threw it out in front, blocked, and it's swept out of there by the Caps.
One thing you preach to penalty killers is if it's on your stick, you want it down 200 feet. Do not give them the power play side an extra opportunity.
Clark. He's got 3 shorties. Bumped. Sent back of the net. Pardon me, that's Boyd Gordon. Up the middle, Walker sweeps it to the point. Stillman couldn't keep it in. And Washington right now outworking Carolina on the power play. Kolzig knocked down the drive from Cole, tapped it to the corner. Stahl fires, deflected. Kolzig the save.
Well, this is a great tool for any goaltender playing the game. We see Kolzig did it that shift there. Get yourself out on top of the crease. He's a big man, but it still helps him by getting out. He does that so well. For a big man, moves well laterally. Positioning is his game, and that's why he's lasted so long. It just, when you have the basics like that, the older you get, you can rely on it, and it'll keep you in the game.
Only Kolzig listed at 6'3", 221. Seidenberg. Pounds it around to the near side. Williams. High slot Whitney. Sent through the crease. Whitney without a point tonight. Remember, points in 8 straight. The Caps back at full strength. Here's a steal. Semin tripped up. Are they going to give it to him? Are they going to give it to him?
No. They're looking for the penalty shot. And you sense a little hesitation before the call was made. Justin Pierre, he just hesitated a little bit. He was thinking about calling that penalty shot.
Well, you can hear the fans are displeased. They wanted to see that man go for the hat trick on the penalty shot. Instead, it'll be a Washington power play. You're watching the NHL on HDNet.
Yeah,
He had a clear-cut break.
he thought about it. You know, that's a ball. I don't know how experienced this referee is.
He's not.
It's tough for him to call that.
He's not.
Oh, yeah, give it to the fans, right? Send them
Yeah.
home. I mean, what a story.
Well, he'll stay on for this. 7 o'clock Thursday. Murph, are you working that game? Do I have you next week?
Oh, where is it?
Buffalo.
No. I'm in, I don't know. Maybe I am.
and then what do we have after that?
Let me see.
Oh.
I just thought.
Welcome back to the Verizon Center. The Capitals with a 5-3 lead, about to head onto the power play next Thursday. Murph and I, we think, I'll definitely be there. Murph isn't sure. He's checking his schedule right now. We're going to be at the Odd.
I will be there. That's a huge game. I will be working it.
Actually, we're going to be in Boston. It's going to be the Sabres and the Bruins. Buffalo, one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Bruins, trying to fight their way back into the playoff hunt. That game at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific here on HDNet this coming Thursday. Be sure to check your schedule, Murph. Let me know if you're free. Semin fakes. Ovechkin sent across. Out in front, they score! Chris Clark! Chris Clark with his 4th goal in this season series and a new career high 21 tallies, 6-3 Caps.
Well, it's a bit of a broken play. Ovechkin tries to get the puck across. Carolina moves, feels they can clear it. Well, what happens is they leave the Caps open. Justin Williams makes a play on it. Wesley makes a play on it. Puck gets to Clark. Gets his head up. Takes a good look and throws it past Ward.
Washington 2 for 5 on the power play. We'll see who gets credited for the assists. Ovechkin could be in line for his 3rd point of the night. Walker. High slot lad, had it and lost it. And prior to that goal being scored by Clark, Carolina had outshot Washington 12-3 here in this 3rd period. Stahl wheels in, fires, hit a leg. Zubris. Shots right now 32-20, favoring Carolina, and another penalty upcoming here on Carolina. They came in 7th in the league taking the fewest penalties, but they're starting to rack up now as some of the frustration is starting to show.
8 minutes left. Things are coming unglued for Laviolette and his team. That was a backbreaker, that 6th goal. Andrew Ladd. He's in the box now. Washington bounces back after falling apart in Carolina last night. They do not skate this morning. They hold a meeting. Those players came out of that meeting, you have to honestly say, looked very determined, not pleased with how things went. They obviously got an earful from Coach Hanlon. He came out storming. He was hot. This team, they've got the talent. They can score goals.
Salmon fires, and Ward fought it off. I don't know if you saw after he went by, he melted the birthday cake that was there at the Iceplex.
Scared all the little kids there. No, just kidding, just kidding. That wasn't the case. But he was definitely on a mission to right the ship. They've got to win these games. They've got to stay in the playoff race.
And a credit to Glenn Hanlon as Washington's on the power play here for the second time this period, and they are 2 for 5 thus far. That for the most part, this team plays as hard or harder than anybody in the Eastern Conference on a consistent basis. Whether or not they get the wins and the results, they certainly don't. They're a couple of games under 500, but they give you an effort every night. Beach centers, sent back to Beach. Ward the save, rebound, fought for, and the puck somehow skips over to the near side, so we got a pile up in the back of the Carolina net.
Oh, the Caps showing some finesse. Look at this play behind the back. That was sweet. Beach, he's feeling pretty good after scoring that goal. Clark's right there. He just can't. Oh, it doesn't. How does it stay out?
Oh, and that was Semon's chance for the hat trick right there. And he dished off.
Well, you know you're feeling pretty confident. Player Chris Beach, the old behind the back play. You don't see that too often.
He's a skilled first round pick that was reacquired by Washington last year from Nashville. He was sent over as a part of the big package when Jaromir Jagr came here. And it obviously never worked out for Jagr here in Washington. And Glenn Hanlon's group had to send a bunch of prospects to Pittsburgh, which included Chris Beach. Last year he came back to the organization, won a Calder Cup with Hershey, and this year made the roster, and he's got a huge goal tonight here in the third period at the 3:12 mark, which at the time made it a 3-goal margin. .36 seconds left on the minor to Ladd. Williams sent one into the slot. Heward. Coming back is Ovechkin. Left circle. Ovechkin did not get credited with an assist on the Clark goal, at least for the time being. Right now they give the assist to Zubris and Nicolette. Well, he's got a goal and an assist tonight. Here's Heward. We're under 6 minutes remaining in regulation as Ladd is a free man. Adams sends it across to Commodore. In the corner, Walker. Stahl up top, Hutchinson. And the former Michigan Stater had it blocked. Walker dribbles one out in front. Far side, Ladd. Carolina pushing here. Hutchinson moves up, took a chance. Donald Brashear got it by him and out. Brashear with 116 penalty minutes, including 6 minutes in penalties last night. Held in by Stillman, centered. Kolzig out to stop it, and he reaches in to grab it. We're going to have a penalty.
Steve Eminger gives the puck up. Leads to a scoring chance for Carolina. When they don't succeed, Washington ends up in the penalty box. Eminger coughs it up.
Then the headlock. 6-3 Caps. You're watching the NHL on HDNet. Well, Washington going shorthanded, leading 6-3 here late over Carolina. Holy Kolzig has been on fire.
How's it going tonight? Oh, not so good.
There you see Mike Commodore with the flaming red hair. He shaved that head twice for charity. Of course, if I did that, it really wouldn't generate
do that
much,
every
but-
day.
Yeah. Doesn't generate much. Here's Whitney. Brindamore taking a look across, Stahl. Brindamore quickly to the far side. Wrap around, Kolzig keeps it out of there. And Washington collapses to clear. Two from Sema tonight. Ovechkin with one, Fair with one, Beach and Clark each with goals. Washington had a 3-0 lead early in the first. Carolina cut it to 3-2 by the intermission. Made it 4-2 at the end of two. And then tacked down to their lead here in the third. Whitney. 1 minute to go on the Washington penalty. Sean Morrison off the ice. Cole. Left circle, fires, blocked. Down goes Eminger. Kolzig went down as well. Centered. Tapped up the far side and out. Brooks like far circle, centers. Knocked out of midair. Off the crossbar. They score! After playing the pipes, Brooks Light puts it between them. A shorty, 7-3.
Oh, Washington shows they have talent. Chris Clark stays with it. Brooks Light, boy, takes the hit, score the goal. This is it, kids watching it. Stop. A lot of times you see players skate away from the play. Like puts the brakes on, turns around, scores a goal for that fact. That's a great example of how important it is to get to the net. If the puck's there, stop.
That's his third shorty and 5th overall. Are they going to review this? So they are actually going to review it. There was a few reviews last night in the game in Carolina, and one very lengthy one. There was a conversation that Glenn Hanlon had before the game where he felt that there should be a time limit like the NFL has when reviewing goals.
Well, I want to take a look at it. In high def, it definitely goes in the net. And of course, no surprise, they rule it a goal. Great play, Brooks Like. That's taking the hit to make the play. Gets clobbered.
He earned a lot of praise from the coaching staff before the game as one of the team's best penalty killers of late, moving up the chart. How long does it take for young guys to become good penalty killers, Murph, especially defensemen?
I think it just develops along with the rest of your game, the maturity, and of course opportunity is very important. Like anything, if you don't get put out there, you don't develop. Your coach has got to see something they think will make you a good penalty killer.
7-3 now.
Those traits for a penalty killer, like to see somebody that can skate, check, willing to block shots.
Ovechkin had it hop over his stick, a between the legs dish that's scooped up by Seidenberg. These two still have 2 more meetings left. Ovechkin rifles it over the crossbar. Tanabe, right circle, centered. He had Stahl, just couldn't get it cleanly to him. Carolina has devoured the competition in the division. A division best 13-4-2. Washington 3 games under 500 against foes from the Southeast coming in at 7, 10, and 2. Stahl muscles a backhand to the end boards. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in regulation. The shots one-sided, 35-22. Babchuk got bumped by Fair. Right circle. The shot drilled by Semin and fought up by Ward. Wrap around, Semin shoots, and it got deflected into the netting after he circled the wagons.
Shaking his head, thought that was number 3 coming for Simmons. Smart play, turns it over, brings it out front. Boy, there's an example right there. Edge work. Boy, just incredible how quickly he can turn on 1 foot.
Trainer did a good job of those skates.
Trainers,
1:18 remaining.
Trainers don't get credit for the good skates. They just get blamed when things go wrong.
This one stopped by Kolzig with 69 seconds remaining.
Well, this one's pretty well in the bag. In Washington, boy, we saw tonight just how much talent and how exciting this team is to watch. We also see that defensively they can improve. There's room for improvement.
Wesley with it. They'll send it back to Whitney now. Wesley lugging the mail. Brindamore threw it into the corner. For Carolina, a setback tonight. Brashear out there to assert himself. Hutchinson shoots. Kolzig the save. And no extracurriculars. Carolina chasing Atlanta. They're going to remain at least 6 back, second in the Southeast. And Tampa Bay, which has made a hard charge, could have an opportunity to gain some ground. Carolina only 4 points ahead of Tampa in 3rd place in the division, and Tampa 7th in the East. For Washington, only their 2nd victory in the last 7 games. They'll improve to 21, 22, and 7. Near circle, this backhand blocked out in front by Carolina. Belanger wheels in, offside. Washington will move to 12, 11, and 3 here at home. Pittsburgh, I believe, idled today. So Washington now, if Pittsburgh still has the 8th spot, and again, there were a lot of teams in front of them, Washington was 13th, they could be only 3 points out of the last playoff spot in the East.
Well, the big problem, though, is the number of teams they've got to get by to get that last playoff spot. But all you can do is just go out and win games. Let everything else look after itself.
Semin wants to get a shot away, does. It's blocked out in front. Semin's denied the hat trick, but Washington, a huge win here at home, 7-3. Ole Kolzig and the Capitals just muscle their way past the Carolina Hurricanes. A very convincing victory here on home ice before an energetic crowd. Alexander Ovechkin tonight with a goal and an assist. Alexander Semin, though, dazzling. 2 goals and an assist. And Murph, this team is going to get stronger. Richard Zednik is supposed to be back next week. Brian Pothier will make his way back into the lineup shortly. The same is the case with Brian Muir. They're going to get another defenseman back, and John Erskine.
Well, just stay in the race. It's really the only advice you can give a team like this. Win games. They faltered. Coach Glenn Hanlon took a stand this morning. They didn't skate. They just met a meeting. You know that there was some harsh words, some criticism. The team responds, and this guy right here, he seems much happier now.
No reason to shake your head. You have been watching the NHL on HDNet, your home for high-definition hockey action. Join us next Thursday as our HDNet cameras will be in Boston for an exclusive national high-def coverage. The Bruins will be hosting the Buffalo Sabres. That game will take place at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific next Thursday. The executive producer of HDNet Sports and the producer of tonight's game has been Daryl Ewald. Our broadcast was directed by Jason Vaughn. HDNet remote engineering by Jeff Millay and Dan Neighbors. Production managers Angela Setta and Mike Hurd. Feature producer Johnny Galpin. The Washington Capitals just roared out of the gate with 3 goals in the first 13 minutes and eventually cruised to a 7-3 win over the defending Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes, 7-3. For my partner Larry Murphy, I'm Judd Surratt. We'll see you Thursday from Beantown.